The Latest in the Gayest podcast is intended for listening by adult members of the LGBTQIA+ community and their allies. Discussions may contain material not suitable for folks under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised. This week, we talk about the Republican invasion on women's bodies.
And I judge Heartstopper purely on the vibes.
All this and more on The Latest
And the Gayest.
And welcome back to The Latest and the Gayest podcast with me, Josh, and my beautiful, wonderful co-host.
Ah, shucks, you shouldn't have. My name... Oh, okay, that's it. That's the show. That's it. The show's... It's done. We're done. It's okay.
No, but who are you? Who is like...
I broke in, actually. I'm a robber. I'm here to steal all the dildos.
They're not mine. They're Alex's.
Okay.
So take them.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, they wouldn't even be mine.
Whose are they?
Well, I mean, okay, I guess they would be mine, but because I'm the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I see what's going on here.
Yeah. I'm the top in the relationship, so
you're not taking them. You're delivering them.
That is true. Yes.
You're the delivery man.
Yeah, I'm the pizza boy.
The pizza boy.
I wish. No, but anyway, how have you been? I haven't seen you in what feels like
a month.
2.5 years. It's been ages. Oh my goodness.
Actually, it's been pretty quiet the past couple weeks, except for the past 24 hours have been kind of wild.
Oh.
Okay, because so the first thing that happened, I talked about this a little bit before.
Okay.
I ordered Starbucks off the app, and I picked the wrong location for pickup, which was really embarrassing.
Oh dear.
But also, last night, I was at work pretty late.
Okay.
It was a little past midnight because there's so much stuff. I like to get everything done, and I like to get ahead.
Let me just say this: you are a trooper.
I'm a workaholic.
I do not have that kind of spunk that you do. If you couldn't have fucking, when I worked at the wine shop, excuse me, you couldn't have fucking paid me to stay there an extra any amount of time.
It's a struggle just to get you to not leave early.
Oh no, if I was definitely one of those people that would if it was a conundrum, because it was if you want to leave early, if somebody which didn't happen often, but it's do you want to leave early? And I'm well, I do, but
money.
That also, yeah. And I only made $13 an hour. So it was if I even miss a little bit of time, that's still more money that I could be making and could be going into my bank account. So it was a toss up, but now that I'm an adult and I have to pay bills and shit, which nobody talks about that.
It's
nobody talks about that enough. I went from fucking I'm watching everybody, and I've been on my Snapchat story, all my friends who are just finishing up, some of them got to have, which one of my friends who used to be in my choir group on campus with me at JWU.
Oh, I always forget you're a good singer.
I mean, moderately, but I try. But they had their graduation ceremony today, and they fucking first off, they got to have it actually a graduation ceremony. They actually got to have the full experience of everybody in the room with caps and gowns, and they got to do the full flip them in the air, woo, yay. Because my graduation ceremony, it wasn't in the heat of Quarantine Aguilera, but it was
a time of uncertainty.
Yeah. So we had my graduation ceremony, literally you would like go into the building, pick up your fucking like not diploma, like not your whatever the case is that you would like hold, that would like hold your fucking
degree.
Yeah, the little case that you would put your degree in, and then you'd like walk across the stage with your thingy and like smile. But like you'd get that, and then you'd go into the gymnasium, and then you'd wait in like a line, and there was like, because you were only allowed to bring 2 people to actually attend in person. So I brought the 2 people that I brought were my parents, and which was an interesting ordeal because it was the first time that they had been together since
That's like people probably have talked about it, but like having your parents are divorced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine are too.
Yep.
I dread like accomplishing anything. Like if we get famous and we go to like some kind of award ceremony for podcasts.
Oh yeah.
The idea of my parents being in the same room makes me physically ill.
We're gonna be like attending the Oscars, and then it's gonna be like, oh, who's walking the carpet with you today? It's like, oh, this is my dad, or this is my mom, or whatever. Or
and
like,
they're getting in there like an actual fist fight.
Or like, what if you're only allowed to bring like a one, like plus one? It's like, who do you choose?
Yeah.
So,
honestly, can I be a little honest in the pod?
I'd get vulnerable. Get demure and vulnerable.
Say if I like won like a Grammy, an Oscar, a Nobel Peace Prize, I'm not inviting my parents to come.
Are you aiming to become an EGOT?
EGOT, yeah.
You want to be an EGOT winner?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing it all.
And I'm gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize. I'm also gonna get. Are there any math awards?
Probably, but
I won't be getting it.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I wouldn't know of their existence because I fucking suck at math. So
the only math I care about is Kine from the Canada's Drag Race talking about.
Oh, okay,
math on TikTok.
Yeah. For some reason, my ears heard kind.
Oh.
As in, not in like the sense of being kind to people. Mm-hmm. As in the granola bar company. And I was like, what?
What? They have the perfect ratio of bar to nougat.
Their almond to peanut butter to cranberry ratio is just like top quality. And
deserves a reward.
The granola bar awards. The granolis. The granolis.
The granolis.
Imagine like Nature Valley, Kind, fucking
Cliff Bars,
Nutri-Grain.
All the CEOs come.
Oh yeah, all the Quaker Oats. Like they got all their. Oh my god, that.
They all send their gay interns, and it just becomes. Have an open bar and like.
Oh my god.
Have like Nicole Byer like giving up the awards.
Nicole Byer hosts the 25th annual Granolis. Just an entire award ceremony about granola bars.
I would watch that. I'd watch that so hard.
Whoever's like, would be the funniest thing ever. Mm-hmm. If like whoever's walking the carpet for Nature Valley, while they're walking the carpet and they're like getting their pictures taken, their dress or like ensemble or whatever they're wearing just starts crumbling and like falling apart at the seams. Like they step on, like they make one wrong step and then like everything just goes to shit. And it's like, it's Nature Valley. Hey.
Nature Valley.
Hey. But like you cannot eat a Nature Valley bar without ending up with like a pile of crumbs on your clothes. Like nobody talks about that. And I think it should be brought to light. Yeah,
Nature Valley, you will not be winning any awards at the Granolis.
The Nature Valley, you'll be presenting one of those like at when they have at the Oscars when they've got like, this is the Oscar for best technical lighting detail. Or this is the Oscar for best sound mixer within a transition. Like not even like a big part of the movie, just like a transition from like scene to scene. As like the sound that you hear during that transition, and I'm like, oh, you poor thing. It's like they don't even get, or even like the poor bastards who, like, when you're watching the Grammys or something, the poor shits who get like, whenever the host is talking about, so this person won an award. We didn't televise it though, but they won it. So, you know, hey.
It's cool, I guess.
Yeah, congrats on your award that we really didn't care enough about to televise.
Oh, that's lame.
So, you know, but hey, you won a Grammy.
Hey, you want it though.
I mean, you know, take pride in everything, but at the same time, you know.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna get back to my story in a second, but I saw that there was like a lot of like drama around Delta Work. Did she win a Grammy?
Delta Work?
Emmy.
Delta Work won an Emmy?
I think so.
Really?
For her hairstyling on Drag Race.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they basically got fired because... Like,
oh, wait. I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
We'll look into that.
Yeah, it's wild.
Speaking of Delta Work.
Wait, I need to finish my story real quick.
Okay.
Because I was at work past midnight, right?
Right. Oh, we never finished your story. We got into the granolas.
The granolas are very contentious this year.
It's a controversial subject.
No, but so I was looking at the recycling, and a police officer was driving by.
Oh.
And he like came by, and I just knew he was looking at me.
Did he think you were like asking for trouble or something?
No, like I didn't know at first, so like I went in, put the recycling in the bin, and I walked out, and he had turned around, and like the lights were on, and he was pointing them at me, and I was like, "Hello, hi." And it's like, "Hey, how y'all doing?"
Did he think you were like
robbing and stealing?
Something's fishy.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, do you work at this place?" He was like, "Yeah, I do. It's just really busy, and I'm working some extra hours just to get ahead." And he's like, "Okay, do you have any kind of ID that proves you're working here?"
Oh, he like asked you to like.
Yeah, and here's the worst part is like it was like the perfect storm of like dumb bullshit that will happen to me. That day I was in a rush to get to work, and I had my shirt on inside out.
Oh dear.
And I just didn't change it. I just like, I'm just dealing with it. I was like, I don't have that, but my shirt's inside out. So if you let me, I had to like.
Excuse me for a second, officer. Let me change my shirt real quick.
And for a split second, I was like, I'm just wearing a black shirt. This could totally not necessarily be a work shirt.
You could have like put on the completely wrong shirt, and then you would have just like flashed
this, like looked like a full
flashed this
officer.
cop your man titties,
which would have I would have gotten away anyways for that. But anyways. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I see you do work here."
Voluptuous.
Well, what I learned though is he was like, "Oh, because what's been happening is people have been stealing used fryer oil to sell it to biodiesel companies."
Oh, okay. For a second I was so confused. I was like, "What the fuck?" But then I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense."
And he's like, "Yeah, people like they get these trucks and they drain out all the old fryer oil and they sell it to the biodiesel companies for like thousands of dollars."
It is a legitimate business venture, so.
Well, it's a legitimate business venture for the business selling the oil.
That's true.
Not for the randos coming up in the middle of the night.
Just
so he was
stealing the grease traps from McDonald's or something.
And like, if it only were that easy, to have randos come take your grease oil, because the grease oil is so annoying to get rid of.
Yeah.
But speaking of grease oil,
let's take a break. Look at you!
Doing my nonsensical transitions.
That's gonna be a good one.
I've embraced it.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Ooh.
Hey.
How y'all?
Let's go take a little break. And we are back. And
yes,
now
we are.
It is time to get in to some queer quandaries. And let's get into this week's top stories.
And there are some stories.
This
Oh, boy.
week has been yet another interesting week in this time of our lives. It's just a wow. It's really something.
It is really insane.
Yeah. So, as we know, this week the Supreme Court voted to strike down the landmark decision Roe v. Wade.
Well, they didn't. That's not quite where it's at yet.
Oh, they haven't voted yet?
I learned on the videos I've been looking at. That's not how this actually. It's poised to. It's
Okay.
definitely probably gonna.
It's gonna happen at some point.
Most likely. I mean, there's a chance technically, because basically they like do oral arguments and then they write an opinion, and there can be like I can't remember the exact words, but there's like the opinion. There's another one that's like you agree, but you have more you wanted to add, but didn't end up adding.
Right.
And then there's the dissenting opinion, which is the people that disagree.
Yeah.
And those opinions kind of get passed around the court, and there's like a final vote at the very end. So we're not at the end.
No.
But the way things are headed,
It's looking Yeah.
bleak.
Which, it obviously I'm assuming we all know what Roe v. Wade is, but for those who are not in the rope, the United States protects a woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. And I was looking about this according to an initial draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito that was obtained by the website Politico.com. Alito said, quote, Roe was aggressively wrong from the start. We hold that Roe and Casey, which is a reference to a 1992 decision called Planned Parenthood versus Casey, must be overruled. It is time to heed this Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. According to Politico, the deliberations on controversial cases have in the past been pretty fluid. Justices can and sometimes do change their votes as draft opinions circulate. And and majority decisions, it's pretty crazy. Obviously, if the decision were to be struck down, it would be ending, and this is insane, and I didn't even know this, it would be ending over half a century of guarantee of federal constitutional protection of abortion rights and allow each state to then make it a decision of their own on whether they choose to ban or allow abortions.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're either gonna like outright ban it, which some places
there's already states that are like well on their way.
Yeah, they're like getting the second that ball drops, they're gonna be like, nope, no more.
Aren't there like, wasn't it? I can't remember if it was like, I don't know, it was Arizona or like, there are already some states out there that are already like drafting. I don't know if like a lot of them have gone into effect yet, but there's already a lot of states that are drafting bills like this to like, as soon as they get the opportunity, it's like no more abortion, no more access to healthcare like that. It's done.
I've also seen here. Wait, I can't remember what state it is, but there's a some state that's trying to ban IUDs as well.
Really?
Yeah.
For what? Why?
It's about control. It's just
because the states really just see that why?
Because we are unfortunately a white Christian nation, and it's nasty.
Yeah. There's I found a thing on, I was looking on when I was looking through Politico.com, found a thing that said, according to a person familiar with the court's deliberations, there's already been talk that Republican justices Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, however you pronounce his last name, I don't give a shit, he's Republican, Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Conehead Farrett have already voted alongside Alito in the conference held among the other justices after hearing oral arguments in December. And as of this week, the lineup has remained unchanged.
Yeah, and I just looked it up. According to Jezebel.com, in Louisiana, they're going to ban emergency contraception like Plan B and IUDs.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So they're really just like
going for everything, all women's options for contraception.
There's this thing I saw on TikTok where I can't remember if it was like I can't remember who was the creator of the video, but some douchebag, man. Need I say more? But he was like, he made a comment on someone's video that said, why don't you just keep your fucking legs closed? And like, first off, don't even start. Like,
to keep in your pants as well. Like, fucking, you have that energy.
That's the thing that these guys don't understand. They think it's a matter of that they're giving like women access to all this stuff, and it's like, why don't you just fucking learn not to, I don't know, sexually assault people?
That's true.
How about we just start there? How about teach men and boys not to fucking rape people?
No, it's all kinds of nasty, and it's that idea that like it's putting all the blame on women, and that's the gross part about it.
Yeah, and they're like, they think that having access to abortion and like healthcare options like this is like, it's murder. It's they're like, they get, oh, she was asking for it, or like, whatever.
The little victim blaming.
Yeah, and it's all
nasty.
It's so fucking.
And the thing too that I think the justices were saying is like, oh well, the country is so divided about abortion, it's not a unanimous thing, which I think actually, I don't know off the top of my head, I've heard it a few times that a vast majority of people support abortion at some level.
Yeah,
like not everyone's like as far along to the left with it, but most people like say, yeah, there are times where abortion is necessary, but also, what I was getting at is that they want to leave it up to the states, mm-hmm. because it is so like such a
controversial
topic.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to me, that doesn't quite scan, is because the GOP's made a lot of moves to limit and restrict voting rights and to make voting more difficult. So to insinuate that like, let the people vote on it, well then we need to start having our voting be more, fair and mm-hmm. accessible.
Yeah.
It's just
no. And what always gets me about topics like this is during the height of the pandemic, mm-hmm. all the anti-maskers, all the fucking like people who were so opposed to actually trying to stop the spread of COVID because they just like either didn't believe it existed or for whatever stupid reason, they live by the option of, oh, my body, my choice when it comes to masks, mm-hmm. when it comes to having
vaccination.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that. But when it comes to a woman's body and a woman's right to choose what she does with her body, then all of a sudden it's murder. Because old white men believe that they are the ultimate power on everything and that they know everything. And it's just so fucking ridiculous. And there was something that I saw on social media that was talking about how the gays mm-hmm. are not as up in arms about this as we should be.
Oh yeah, we should be livid.
There was this very brief TikTok I saw where this guy was like, this is a message for all like the white twinks out there. If they strike down Roe v. Wade, we're next.
Yeah, that's
So
the thing too.
fight for women and fight for their rights just like you would fight for your own.
Well, that's the thing too, that some people are making like they're drawing not drawing conclusions, but they're like seeing how this is going to play out in the long term, and like the long term implications of a conservative majority in the Supreme Court. Gay marriage, which is Obergefell, could similarly be overruled.
Oh yeah.
And it's another of those things that, like, again, this is one of those things that why the Democratic Party really just shoots itself in the foot, and it doesn't. There was a time frame where it was physically possible during the Obama administration, where people keep saying it, where Roe v. Wade could have been codified, and they just didn't take it. They failed to act when it's most important. And even now, with these anxieties about Obergefell being overturned, if they had just taken the opportunity to like codify it, make it the law of the land. But now another thing that's kind of uniquely insidious about the situation is I see so many Democratic people for re-election. This is like almost like a wet dream for them, because they get to like not fearmonger, but they take this moment and like
topics that are controversial.
They're gonna
like,
they're asking for donations like crazy right now. Like, we can do this together, and it's like
they're using it for kind of like their benefit.
Fundraising.
Yeah, so that they can get themselves, up for re-election or, what have you.
Yeah, it's all just.
Yeah. And speaking of the gays, not being as up in arms as we should be, there's an article I saw on The Advocate that was talking about why queer people need access to safe abortion and why we must protect Roe v. Wade. It was written by Steph Black this week, and I think this is something that the queer community needs to hear, because there's a lot of people who are and it's, again, we talked about this kind of in a way of when we did my interview episode. We talked about how a lot of towns were kind of just doing all this performative activism in the sense of like, here's a mural of the pride flag, we love the gays.
Hi, gay. Yeah.
But and it didn't like do anything, or like, here we're gonna paint Martin Luther King on the side of this building or whatever. But not, it doesn't actually help any causes. In this article, she talks about, so I've been an abortion activist for over 7 years in Washington, D.C., helping pregnant people access abortion care in the area. I am also queer. There are many people in my LGBTQ plus circles who don't understand why I, a cis woman, engaged to other cis women, am so worried about protecting access to abortion care. Once again, this week I watched as the wider LGBTQ plus community glossed over the end of Roe v. Wade and the federal right to abortion to focus solely on the potential loss of marriage equality. As terrified as I am about losing the ability to marry my fiancé, I cannot ignore the fact that without the right to abortion and reproductive health care, there would be no marriage equality in the first place. Queer people ignoring Roe because it might seem irrelevant for people in relationships with someone who cannot get them pregnant is short-sighted. Maybe it seems counterintuitive because the stereotypical idea of queer or same-sex partnerships involve people of the same gender, but that is not always the case. Both sexuality and gender are fluid and varied. AFAB non-binary people, trans men, bisexual and pan women who date cis men, these are just some of the examples of those in the LGBTQ plus community who may need access to abortion care if they get pregnant and don't want to be. This doesn't even include your lesbian friends who conceive via donor sperm who may have endured an ectopic pregnancy, or your gay coworker's surrogate who receives a devastating fatal diagnosis. It's the people you love. Don't forget to fight for them too while you make noise about marriage equality. We can't have one without the other.
Exactly. I don't want to like, and I'm not saying I feel bad, but like I do see like the fatigue of how we're kind of making it about us, because Obergefell's not yet on was it like the cutting floor or whatever how you say it?
On the something like that. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that case is not particularly being looked at, or being overturned at this moment, but insinuating that like abortion has nothing to do with us and reproductive rights has nothing to do with us is, like you said, short-sighted and closed-minded. We are a very diverse community.
Yeah.
And I think people so often think about gay and pride and that kind of the community is just like gay and lesbian. Gloss over everyone else. Yeah.
Because certain like gay men, they don't really, there are some gay men out there who are like, oh, that sucks, but like, what does it have to do with me? And it's like, why? It's it's one of those things. It's like, why should I be attending these protests? It's like, I can't get pregnant.
Because it's the right thing to do, first of all.
You should be, like she said, if you have people in your life who this is going to be affected by, you should be fighting for them just as hard as you should be fighting for your own right to be able to marry someone you love of the same gender. Just because you cannot get pregnant doesn't mean that this isn't going to affect the people in your life.
And also think too is like, how come it has to be attached to us for us to feel empathy and to want better and to want the right thing? I should have to go through, I'm not going to say mental gymnastics because it seems kind of like belittling, but I should not have to like talk you through how, oh, you could know someone that this could,
why this is important.
Why it's important.
Why
it's
you
important
should be
just because it's
fighting
important.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to like convince you to care.
I shouldn't have to like make a PowerPoint presentation and like line by line, like, this is why we should be attending protests for this. This is why we should be fighting for affordable birth care and healthcare options, birth control options, all that stuff. We shouldn't have to go through that.
Yeah, no, it's
so like one thing that I saw that I think is really good, that I want to reiterate, for all the straight men out there who, if your girlfriend is, with issues like this, obviously it can be tough. I feel like they want to fight on behalf of their girlfriend or wife or fiance or whatever for, the men who actually give a shit. Don't like fight on behalf of your girl, because this is one of those things where, obviously both of us, we are cisgendered men. We're gay cis men, and we're gonna still continue to fight and support our female sisters and people in our lives who this is going to affect. But we're not gonna don't fight on behalf of your girl. Go attend protests with her. Go fight for these things with her. Do things with her to fight for rights like this. Be supportive.
Exactly.
Don't just feel like you have to take this into your own hands, because it's not a matter that affects you personally.
I feel like sometimes when these kinds of things come up, there are people that are like, they feel almost this like, I have to be the one to make the change.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly. Yeah,
it's gonna be me. I'm gonna like be out there changing minds.
like you're like white people when when it's like I'm gonna be the one to when like Black Lives Matter was kind of at its peak. It's like the white people who are all like, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna be the one to make a change and make a difference. And it's like,
it's not about you though.
No, and that's the thing.
It's not. Don't center yourself in this conversation
because you are not the center of attention. Like in this scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's the whole thing is just insane. And if there are any protests in your area or going around, please attend and fight for what shouldn't really even be an issue in the first place, because old white men feel the need to know what is best for women's bodies, which should have never really been the case in the first place. But
any other news we need to get to?
I mean, I have a story about Janelle Monáe.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, she's up. I guess at the Met Gala, she talked about how she might be playing Josephine Baker.
Oh, that's lovely.
In an upcoming E14 television series about by icon Josephine Baker. Janelle Monáe is going to be playing her. She was like for those of you who don't know who Josephine Baker is, she's iconic. She's a civil rights activist. She was a singer. She was a literal like Nazi fighter. There's a upcoming television series, De la Resistance, which will focus around the chapter in her life when she, during World War II, when she worked as a spy for the Allies and the French resistance, helping to defeat the Nazis while simultaneously becoming one of the most iconic singers of all time.
Love her.
Anyway, let's take a break. And we are back. And now it's time for another edition of Pussy Pop Culture.
Ooh.
I don't really have an intro for this, but just there's I don't know, maybe there's something out there. Who knows?
Someday.
When you wish upon a star. Anyway, so there has been a television show on Netflix
phenomenon.
Sweeping the gays recently, and I could not be more excited to talk about it because I myself am one of the gays who has been swept up in the fandom paranoia. And it's I could not be more excited to talk about this today. So, Heartstopper. Love it, stan it. I might end up getting I had like a brief moment of consciousness where I was like, should I get a tattoo? Like a Heartstopper tattoo?
Oh my god.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm at that level of fandom yet, but like
you're approaching.
I'm getting there. I've rewatched the entire season.
How long is it?
Each episode is like about half an hour, and there's 8 episodes. So it's kind of a thing of like, if you plan on, I usually like spend, like last night I rewatched every episode. But it was like it was a thing where like you kind of have to give it like a block of time, because trust me, you will get swept up into it. And so Heartstopper, oh my god,
what the fuck is happening here on this day?
What is happening here? What the fuck is up here on this day? My computer just reminded me of I have a therapy session on Monday.
Ooh. Calling you out.
Mentally unwell. Anyway, so Heartstopper is the newest phenomenon sweeping the gays, and it's about the first season that is out is about the blooming love story between Charlie Spring and Nick Nelson, two British twinks who
Just to make it clear, I have yet to watch Heartstopper. I'm giving my first impressions based on the fanaticism and the general plot that Alex is going to present to me, and I'm going to make some snap judgments.
So Charlie Spring is a student at Truro Grammar School, which is an all-boys preparatory school in the UK.
I'm
And
already exhausted. Twinks at an all-boys school.
What Helix Studios video?
Exactly.
What fucking Helix Studios video is this?
I'm already fatigued.
But so he's like the one kid at the school who's like actually openly gay. He's not he's not crazy, but he's like the one openly gay kid at the school. And after breaking up with this guy who he was like sort of together with, but then it turned out he was like a dick and he like didn't want to be seen with him like at all in public.
Oh my God.
It was only like behind closed doors kind of thing. Charlie meets Nick Nelson, the star player of the Truro rugby team, who...
Oh my God. How does a twink play rugby? He would fucking break his bones. He would die. The guys who play rugby are not twinks. I will not stand for this like dad bod rugby erasure.
The audacity doesn't even know how to comprehend this right now. So Nick Nelson is the star player on the Truro rugby team, and they sort of like they become friends because they sort of like they sit next to they also happen to sit next to each other in, I guess it's like their version of homeroom.
Assigned seats?
So they sit next to each other.
They have assigned seats?
Apparently.
Is this the Great Depression?
I don't know.
Who has assigned seats in school? Okay, it's like a prep school or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different there. Maybe it's different in Britain, but I don't like it there.
But so
that makes me I'm sorry. I'm like having school trauma coming back up. Assigned seats? Am I a pilgrim?
Oh my God, I could go. So I could
keep going.
So they become friends over a period of time, and then Nick discovers that he is bisexual.
Okay, by representation, I live.
And then there's also there's a side plot with there's this like girl who everyone thinks likes Nick, but it turns out because there's also a plot with like there's an all girls school that's kind of like their sister school. And like this girl that is like said to act to like Nick is actually a lesbian, and she's kind of going through something similar where like she's with this girl, but she's like not as out and proud as she is. So they're like, they love each other, but it's like a whole thing. And then oh my God, I could go on for hours. But so Joshua has not seen Heartstopper yet. And he has the only things that he has heard basically what has like been said on Twitter, what he's seen on social media, and anything he's heard through me.
And people are like, oh my God, Heartstopper made me cry. Okay, first of all, media making me cry is not going to happen. It is very difficult to like get emotions out of
You're
me
not
in
like
a theatrical setting.
Like you wouldn't. Have you seen The Notebook?
I know the premise of it, and I can tell you right now, I'm not going to cry.
I disagree. I think you might.
Is The Notebook the one where like he has to like spoilers, I suppose, where like so one of them has like dementia, they can't remember anything, so he has to like remind them that they're in love every day.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe in marriage.
Okay, well, it's a beautiful story, but
two people. I'm sorry. It just sounds wild to me. That's too much.
So basically, I have prepared something for Josh today.
Oh, no.
And I have prepared 5 or 6 statements about Heartstopper. And Josh's job is going to be I'm going to like read these statements aloud to him, and his job is going to be to try and guess whether or not this is a true statement from the show or if it's something that I've kind of embellished.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, first one. Charlie Spring finds comfort in his English professor as he is the only other teacher. He's the only teacher at Treherne Grammar School who is an out and proud gay man.
I'm gonna say that's false. Because if it were true, the show would be about him voting the professor. Because that's for some reason what the gays gravitate towards.
I would hope not, because in season 1 they're like fucking 14 years old.
Oh my god!
So I'd really hope that the professor isn't like diddling a 14-year-old. But you are correct. That is false. Charlie finds comfort in his art teacher. In Treherne.
Oh, it's not English teacher.
No. So his art teacher is the one who. So he has like a bond with his art teacher because he's the only teacher at Treherne who's an out and proud gay man. He like wears a little rainbow flag on his lapel. And in the series, it's revealed that about a year ago, when Charlie was like first coming out, he was getting bullied a lot, and he would eat lunch in the art room with him because he was getting bullied so much.
Ugh. I'm not a fan of that bullied story. I mean, I know it happens. I know it's important to talk about it, but I'm just kind of like...
They don't actually show any of the bullying.
Yeah, that's good then.
But it's revealed that he would like eat lunch in there every day, like when he was getting bullied for everything.
Also,
Okay.
that shows how little I know about this show. I didn't know how old they were. I thought they were in like college or something.
Now this is like
they're young,
high school, like
okay.
Young high school.
Ugh.
Like so in the UK, you know how we have like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Mm-hmm.
They call it year 10 or year 9, year 10, year 11, and year 12. So Charlie in the series, Charlie's a sophomore. So whenever they're like talking, it's like he's a year 10.
Year 10?
Yeah. So they don't
Why?
say they
don't even say 10th grade.
No, they just say he's a year 10.
God, the British are fucking losers. Okay, keep going.
We're gonna get canceled. We're gonna get canceled
by
Josh is gonna get canceled by Queen Elizabeth.
No, she's canceled. I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Lizzie, if you're listening,
with us,
if you're still here, send us a DM. Okay, next. Nick Nelson, who is Charlie Spring's love interest in the series, is, I think you'll know this because I actually like already revealed it to you. Nick Nelson, who is Charlie Spring's love interest in the series, is the star player on the Treherne rugby team.
I suppose. I mean, I don't believe it, but I believe that that's what they're trying to do.
That is correct. It's true.
I don't think he's a star player. How? Because rugby is such a high contact sport, and if he's a fucking twink, he's gonna die.
I mean, he has like a little bit of muscle, but
I don't care.
Like, he's still...
Rugby's for the big burly dudes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, see, me and Charlie gonna get into a fist fight.
You're gonna fight the twinks?
Yes. Yeah, the skinny bitches are evil. They need to be destroyed.
Fuck the twinks.
Yes. No. I don't want that. Oh, quite the opposite.
That's true.
Anyways, let's keep going.
So, Tao Su, who is the quote-unquote obligatory straight friend amongst the main friend group in Heartstopper, is a known film buff and forces his friends to watch a lot of movies whenever they hang out, except for any movie by Marvel, which he despises.
I'm gonna say... So, was this produced in the UK? Or is it...
Yeah, they're all like UK actors and actresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is true because I'm sure that the UK is jealous that we have such awesome superhero movies.
Oh my God.
And they'll take us down a peg. And they're going to put in this like kid that's like, I don't watch Marvel movies because they're stupid. And just because they don't got nothing going on over there. it means they're jealous and that they gotta try to knock us down a peg when in reality, you know, Wanda, Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision,
slay.
hello.
Slay. I haven't. I have yet to see Multiverse of Madness, but I want to very soon because
Yeah, same here. So I'm gonna say that's true because because as I said, the UK is a bunch of losers and they're hating, they're haters.
it is true. Tao is in. There's a scene in the
I love
series
it.
where so for a little context, Charlie ends up joining the rugby team because apparently Charlie's an extremely fast runner. And Nick notices this one day and is like, "Hey, you're really fast. Do you want to join the rugby team?" And Charlie like begrudgingly says yes because he has the hots for Nick. And there's one scene where
two
they're
twins
at
on the
they're at a
rugby
rugby
team.
game and Tao is like watching the game with like the other members and like their friend group. They're watching Charlie play. And he's like, next thing you know, Charlie's going to be like bringing those straight rugby dudes to our film nights and they're going to make us watch Avengers or something.
That's hilarious. But I'm very distressed that there's 2 twinks on the fucking rugby team.
There's a lot of twinks on the rugby team.
I mean, I guess they're young. Maybe they're not old enough to be like rugby players.
They're
I
also
suppose.
like they're in high school. They're like but like young high schoolers.
But there was still some like built dudes in my high school that were
That's
playing
true.
rugby.
That's true.
That age group has like such a wide variety. You can look 5 or like 32.
Oh, there was a kid in my high school who fully just like everybody thought that he was a teacher because he legitimately looked like he was in his mid to late 20s when he was in fact like a senior.
That's hysterical. But yeah, that's how wild that age group gets. But still, I'm still not happy about fucking.
No.
Anyways, next
So,
question.
next.
Wait, have I gotten anything wrong yet?
I think I don't remember.
I think I got them all right so far.
So, in the music wing of Truro Grammar School, there is a practice room that has a door that will lock itself from the outside. So, like, if you're in the practice room and somebody, like, accidentally hits the door, it'll, like, close and you can't open it from the inside. Like, it has one of those, like, funny locks or whatever. And in this practice room is where Nick and Charlie come during school hours to cuddle and be together and, you know, without the stress of Nick's rugby teammates finding out about them.
I would say that's probably true. That sounds like a pretty solid, like... Actually, no, I'm going to say false, because there hasn't been any false... Jeez, I'm so lost. Let me think about this a little bit. So, the music room... Well, we already established that, like... what's his name? Nick? Is he the main person?
He's he's the rugby. He's the bi rugby.
No, okay, so then Charlie is the gay boy.
Yeah, Charlie's the gay boy.
Charlie already has an established relationship with the art teacher.
Yeah.
But the art teacher, not the music teacher.
So
I'm going to say false.
that is correct.
I'm right?
Yeah. So so there is a music practice room with a funny lock. However, it is not located at Truum. It is located at the Sisters Girls
At the
School.
girls' school.
Higgs. There
And
and
that's
this
where the
is
girls
where
hang out and cuddle.
this is where the lesbian couple Tara and Darcy go to cuddle and be lesbians together.
that for them.
It's adorable, and there's actually a scene where, and it's one of my favorite scenes, they're in like they have like a combined orchestra that like performs for everybody, and in one scene they get locked in the practice room like minutes before a big concert that's supposed to happen. And then the friend group, they kind of notice that like Tara and Darcy are missing, so they go like running around the school trying to find them. And then when they're in the practice room, they hear everybody like running around, and then Darcy is like, homophobia.
It's like a misunderstanding.
Oh my god, I love it so much. But anyway,
That sounds great. Okay.
okay, next one.
Is this the last one?
There's one more.
Okay.
While at a huge birthday party for one of his rugby teammates, Nick witnesses Tara Jones, who everyone was thought to have a crush on Nick but is in fact a lesbian, kiss her girlfriend Darcy Olsen while dancing. This is what inspires him to finally confess his feelings for Charlie and inevitably have their first kiss.
I'm gonna say that's true.
That is correct.
Nice.
You're doing
that
well.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
know a lot about cinema and videography and that shit.
In the big party, Tara and Darcy are in. There's like a song playing in the background, and then towards like the big pickup to the bridge of the song, they share a smooch, and Nick witnesses it from across the room, and he's like, fierce, and then he like finds Charlie, and then they go sneak off to a room together, and then they're like talking and stuff, and then Nick is like, hey, I might like kiss a guy, and then Charlie's like, would you kiss me? And then they kiss.
That makes me want to vomit.
You gotta, okay, just trust me on this. You gotta watch the show because you'll get it. I think you will get it.
Listen,
I think you will get it when you watch it. I'll get it.
I'm just gonna be annoyed. Listen, I love gay people. I love gay things. Hi, gay. I hate being like sappy. And I'm averse to like, would you kiss me? Because for me, I don't take a lot of things very seriously. So I'd be like, fuck no. I'll kiss a man, but not, no. It's just because I would be like, ugh.
You're not a romantic personality?
I like am in my own way, but not in like that way. And that just, I don't know what it is about it. That just is like annoying to me. Would you kiss me? And I'd be like, yeah, no shit, that's why I'm telling you. I'd be like, where do you think I'm going with this, dog?
Okay, final one. In the series, Elle Argent, who is played by trans actress Yasmine Finney, is revealed to have a secret crush on Isaac, who has been Elle's best friend for many years. However, we do not actually get to see the crush become a real thing. But towards the end of the final episode, there is a scene in the Truum art room where they share a very romantic stare into one another's eyes, which leads us to believe that something might happen between the two during season 2.
I have no idea who these two characters are. So these are two like side characters?
They're like part of the main friend group that like the series focuses around.
And they share a romantic stare at the end.
Yeah, they've been besties since like, way back when, because Elle is trans, and so they were like besties before Elle transitioned.
Okay, I would say that's probably true because it's a natural progression for like the themes and the plot of the show, I suppose.
You actually are incorrect.
No,
so
I ruined it.
Okay. So here's where you are incorrect. Isaac is not the person who Elle is friends with. The person that Elle is friends with is Tao, the film buff.
Oh, okay.
So, but everything else in that statement is in fact true. They have Tao and Elle were like besties like for a really long time, but when they get older, Elle starts to develop a crush on him, but Tao never finds out about it. But it like there's clearly a connection between the two throughout the series,
and it's like blossoming into something else.
Yes.
Honestly, I hope it crashes and burns because Tao's a hating ass motherfucker. He needs to
because he doesn't like the Avengers.
No, it's because it's that UK people. I've conflated like hate for Marvel with like the UK being annoying
with
to
the
me.
Brits.
With the Brits, yeah, exactly.
There's goddamn.
And I'm like, y'all are jealous because you hate shit.
Because you don't.
I don't even stand Marvel that much. I don't really care nearly as much, but now I really care because I've connected it to this. Like,
now the goddamn thing. British twinks are up to something.
This goddamn.
Speaking of British twinks.
The British twinks are ruining the rugby. They're ruining our movies.
Speaking of British twinks, let's take a break.
And we're back, but not for long because it is now time to wrap up the show.
Yes, and I've had such a wonderful time
talking
about British twinks and
getting all
fighting
heated.
For women's reproductive rights.
Yes, that part was lovely. The British Twinks part, not so much.
Oh, you didn't like the British twinks?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I enjoyed doing the segment, but like that made me like I got a little heated.
The British twinks is a heated debate.
If you are okay, so separately, if you are a twink or if you are British, it's on site, and together it's like
just the combination of the two is just. Don't even attempt with him. He will. No. Josh will just rock your shit.
Rock your shit, and not in the good way.
No, and well, you won't. You will not be able to rock his shit because he will. Because you're a famous anti twinker.
Anti twinker, yeah.
You will not bend down for no twink.
No, I will never. There's one. His name's Sergio, and I love him to death.
You gotta have some girth. To enter this bat cave.
I need someone that I can like cuddle with. I saw the funniest thing. Someone said, I don't know who it was from. I feel bad not being able to credit them, but like they said, cuddling with the twink is like sleeping on a remote. You know. It's oh god.
Oh, that's. I mean, you're not wrong though.
Because there's something else too. Twinks, like, their hands are always cold because they don't have any like insulation.
Yeah,
and there was one time this twink were in there. I think he was in his car, and he like went down there and like cold hands, and I was like, I don't want this. And I'm like a human heater, so I'm always running a little hot.
Oh
so, like,
yeah, no, that's one of the benefits about dating a chubbier individual.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all are like cuddling after a nice hump sesh, you can just use their stomach as like a memory foam pillow.
Oh yeah,
and it's great. It's fantastic. And they're just warm. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to like worry about anything. Although that can get if y'all like are cuddling with like a blanket on top of you.
Oh yeah,
it can get a little schwitzy.
Here's the thing: I'd rather be sweaty than a little chilly.
That's fair. I think I'm just like, because I am a naturally warm-blooded individual, mm-hmm. and my boyfriend is similar to me in that we are both very warm-blooded mm-hmm. individuals. Although he's always cold. Oh. Like he's warm-blooded, but like he's also always cold. Like it's a really weird like thing. Hey, babe.
He's giving up the heat too much.
Oh yeah, which speaking of, we part of the reason we were blabbing our mouths so much today is we did not have our technical producer here with us today.
Oh yeah, we miss you, Lance.
Because so our tech producer Lance, aka my boyfriend,
the intellectual bimbo.
Yes. That, oh my god, that edit
so
took it. You would not believe the amount of time that fucking thing took me.
And I'm so grateful you made it.
Yeah, if you go to our TikTok account and like boost our latest post,
there's like 100 or some likes, right?
It's doing pretty well. It's doing it's at the moment it's like our top viewed video on the page. So thank you for that. But
see, if Lance were here, we could have made a TikTok about me hating British twinks.
Ugh, god damn it.
We miss you, Lance.
So Lance has COVID, which sad.
Have you had COVID yet?
I have not.
Neither have I.
Hey. Yeah, no, it sucks, but yeah. So Lance, we miss you.
Get well soon.
Seriously, because I have like my friend supply here in my general area is very limited.
Same, yeah.
So I have like nobody to hang out with other than my boyfriend, and because I can't see him right now because he has COVID, I'm like, I like when Josh leaves after we finish recording, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know, maybe I'll like make a sandwich or something. I don't know.
I mean, that's just as good.
That's yeah. Although I do have to run. I have to run some errands, so I guess I could do that.
Oh, Vom.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to like figure out stuff to fill my time. Anyway, speaking of Vom, you can.
No, that's a bad transition. Speaking of vomit.
Speaking of British Twinks.
That's even worse.
I mean, I feel like it's better than vomit, though.
Speak for yourself.
You know what? I will. You can subscribe to, rate, and review The Latest and the Gayest on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public. And please follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TLATG Pod to stay up to date on everything The Latest and the Gayest. And you can also find our link tree, which can be found in the bio of all of our social medias, to not only find links on where you can listen to the show and all our social media platforms, but you can also find some links and resources on how you can help people affected by the tragedy in Ukraine right now. And yeah, so thank you for joining us for
thank you so much
yet another episode. And I don't know, I'm gonna go like run errands or something because I can't spend time with my boyfriend, so first world problems.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Goodbye.